Hey guys, welcome to the video. This is the Watch Addict. I just want to give you guys a quick tour of the Khaki Field Automatic. This is the black dial watch from Hamilton, and it's a pretty cool watch if you read the written review right above this. And it's a very affordable watch. I picked this one up for under $400. I believe it was $395. Now, some basic stuff about this watch. Obviously, it's a very field, it is a field watch. I wouldn't say it doesn't have such a vintage aesthetic to it, more of a modern aesthetic considering we do have this polished bezel. And there is a bit of glare here, as you can see. That's one reason why I'm not filming under high light conditions, because there is some glare on this dial here, or this sapphire crystal I should say. Now some basic specs about this watch. It is in a 38mm case, which is a nice size, especially for a field watch. They do make a bigger version, I believe, but I picked the 38 version because my wrist is actually 6.5 inches or so, and this fits quite nice on the wrist. Now, in terms of the actual thickness of the piece, it is only 10mm thick, which is surprisingly very thin, and it really slides nice on the wrist, up and down the wrist, and it fits under a dress cuff if you really want something for that, but it's not really a dressy watch, although it is very versatile. If you just look at the watch, it's a very simple watch. We have the Arabic numerals going around the dial. We do have that 24-hour military time on the inner part of the dial, as you can see. So, it can be used in a lot of situations, in my honest opinion. Complete 316L case and bracelet as well. The bracelet's actually really comfortable, and I was really surprised by that. But as you can see, we do have that line going down here. Some people might not like that. Some people might like it. It gives it a bit of a more vintage aesthetic, in my opinion, as well. And these are separate. So these, when you remove the link, it is held in by pins, no screws. When you do remove the pin out of here, they are separate. They're not connected. So it definitely helps with the bracelet being a little bit more fluid on the wrist. And it really does slide up and down the wrist very nice. It doesn't grab your hair or anything of that nature. So, no really need to replace the bracelet, although you can get this watch on, I believe, a leather strap as well. Now, the finishing on the watch is pretty good for this price point. If you see, it's a very fine brushed finish here. And there's absolutely no mistakes. Very slender 10mm case. The other side is just as good. We do have that H on the crown right here, as you can see. And yeah, the brushing is really good, and I would say the brushing on the actual case is a bit better than the bracelet, or a bit more refined. But it's just fine for this price point. Now, inside of this watch, we are running the H10 Hamilton caliber, which is essentially an ETA 2824-2. We do have the date over here, which is pretty common, over at 3 o'clock, in a white date window with black text. As you can see, it says 2 right now. We do get a pull and push crown, but one of the reasons why I picked this model over the actual, the real field model, the manual wound version, which would be more true to the history of Hamilton. This watch is actually 100 meters water resistant, and I do like to take my watches in the shower. And, it's a bit more robust. You can, if you go in the water, you can definitely bring this watch in a pool or something like that. That's one of the main reasons why I chose this one. Even though that one is much cheaper, I believe that one you can pick up for around $260. But we do have a sapphire crystal here, which is nice. We also do have a AR coating, or anti-reflective coating, on the crystal. Although I'm not so sure about the AR coating. That's one of my negatives about this watch. Everybody else has said it. I'm probably sure you've heard it. It's very reflective. As you can see, I couldn't even film under the lights. That's how reflective it is. It's still legible. Those Arabic numerals going around the dial are very legible. And these long kind of syringe pointed hands here are very legible as well. And I do like that we do get the 24-hour military time, which is true to a field watch. Now, the functions of the watch, the self-winding position is actually pretty smooth. We do get 80 hours of power reserve because this is the Powermatic 80. It's basically an ETA movement that's modded out for a longer power reserve. So the power reserve is really good. 80 hours is quite a long time. And the movement also, I believe, yeah, we have your typical 24 joules. And, it's a reliable movement. I've been getting like +2 seconds a day. And it's not, it's not COSC certified or anything of that nature, but it's still very accurate. In my honest opinion. Now to function the actual watch, I'm going to go ahead and pull the crown out, one position, and we can flip through the date. Nice solid clicks as with any ETA movement. Works fine. Now the final position is your hacking position. As you can see, that nice spear hand there, as you can see, I'm going to try and get in a little closer for you guys. You can see that nice spear hand with the red tip on it. It looks very nice, and I like how it reaches all the way out to those fine printed markings going around the dial, marking 0 through 60. It's very fine. There's literally probably like 1/10 of a millimeter between each little white marking going around the chapter ring there. And I think it looks pretty nice. And then we can set the time. Now the time set is just fine, you know, it's not like super loose. It's just the right way to be. There we go. And it'll start moving again. And let me zoom out here. Okay. So yeah, you know, it's basically a pretty simple field watch here. The clasp, it is signed. Let me zoom in again here. Sorry guys, new camera. It is signed Hamilton over here, as you can see. The clasp is a deploying clasp, 2 buttons over here. There's no safety tab, but honestly, it's one of the most secure clasps I've ever seen on a watch in this price point. It really snaps down. We have a milled clasp here, as you can see, and it's really quite nice. I mean, it's not coming off your wrist. It's not even moving. It's really secure there. Now we do get an exhibition case back as well to see that nice Hamilton movement. On the rotor they did inscribe Hamilton. They carved out a portion of the left and the right side of the rotor. Caseback is brushed with an exhibition sapphire caseback. It does say Swiss made, 100 meters, water resistant, and you do get your model number as well. Solid end links on this bracelet as well. And yeah, you know, there also is some nice lume on this watch. And all these Arabic numerals are loomed, the hands are loomed as well. I kind of would have liked to see this little tip on the second sweeping hand to be loomed, but who knows, you know, maybe in the future. Now the bezel is kind of a controversial topic, you know, it is obviously a high polish on this smooth bezel here. And I think if they would have made the bezel brushed, I think it would have killed the glare a little bit in my opinion, but I do like the high polished bezel because it does give a little more, you know, visual, you know, excitement to the watch. It kind of makes it pop a little more. As you see, we do not really have a lot of depth on this dial here. It's not too far from the sapphire crystal, and it really kind of screams out at you when you look at it. You know, so it's very easy to tell the time in all the lighting conditions, even though we do have that glare problem. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys live what it looks like on my 6.25 inch wrist, get you guys a lume shot, and we'll finish it up here. Now here's the watch, guys, on my 6.25 inch wrist or 6.5 inch wrist. And as you can see, it fits pretty nicely. Just end to end about for a 38 millimeter is quite nice. I would say lug to lug fits more like a 40 millimeter, like a Submariner or something of that nature. But as you can see, it looks pretty nice on the wrist, very casual. You know, I'm not a guy that goes hiking through the woods and stuff like that, but it's great for a casual watch, everyday wear. I've been getting a lot of use out of it since I've got it, and it's very comfortable, I must say. And as I was saying earlier, it's very thin, so I mean, you can slide this thing under a cuff, absolutely no problem there. And the bracelet also, I removed 2 links and then 1 link from the other side. One thing people might not like, we only do get 2 micro adjustments. So you might not be able to get a perfect fit, but I definitely got a perfect fit for my wrist. So, you know, it just depends on your wrist, I guess. But yeah, that's how it looks on the wrist. Very comfortable. I have to say this is probably one of the most comfortable watches in my collection. It's not super heavy, but it's not super light. You do feel it on the wrist, but you can forget about it sometimes due to the weight. It's not super heavy, like I said. And right now I want to get you guys a nice lume shot, and I'll be right back, guys. Here is a nice lume shot for you guys. As you can see, all the Arabic numerals are lit up, as well as slightly small pips right near the chapter ring there. The hands are definitely brighter than the actual Arabic numerals, and you know, for a field watch, you know, I think it's just fine. I mean, it's definitely bright enough to read at night, and as you can see, it takes quite some time to fade. And yeah, not bad loom there, not bad. So that's pretty much going to be it for today, guys, on this video. Hope you guys are enjoying the new website and the new blog, the written articles. All my videos are under videos as well. Some older videos. There's going to be a lot of new stuff coming on this channel, watchaddictchannel.com.